Good morning, dreamers. Happy New Year. How are you today? Mm. Middle of the week. Just need that mouthful of coffee to get you going. How was your holiday? I hope it was okay. Um, a lot of people banter back and forth as to whether or not they make resolutions, and I hear my resolution is to never make resolutions again. And with that kind of attitude, um, I find myself in that. And one of the things that I find is that I tend not to make resolutions because resolutions aren't goals, they're vague. I want to get in better shape. I want to go to the gym more. I want to lose weight. Whereas a goal is very specific. You've heard of SMART goals, right? Um, and they're manageable, they're attainable, they're like you can do it, you can achieve it. There's a plan. And it reminded me of the Old Friends episode when the girls are around Monica's living room and they're talking about how they're just this and they're just that. And Phoebe says something like she's laying on the floor with a big straw because she doesn't even want to sit up to drink her drink, and then she's got her ponytail flipped all over her face, and she goes, "At least you guys have a plan. I don't even have a pull." And she flips her ponytail around, and I thought of that as I'm hearing all these things about resolutions. I resolve to, and did I say revolutions? That's funny. Resolutions. I resolve to do A, B, and C. And then by second week of January, third week of January, the resolve is faded. Because so often we're trying to start at the finish line. And races don't work that way. And so you have to take it in chunks, right? If you're doing a half marathon, you have to run 5K several times. You can't just start at a half marathon finish line and go, "Woo, I did it, I get the medal." No, that's not how they work. And so what I have found over the last few years, for me, again, this is just my view as I see it, I find picking a word for the year is helpful because then I meditate on that. I find scriptures that encourage me to just implement this word and its meaning, and what does it mean mentally, what does it mean emotionally, what does it mean relationally, what does it mean physically, what does it mean spiritually for me. And I pray in December and throughout Advent for this word, and I think really hard about what it means. And one of the things that kept coming up was, gotta try harder, gotta try harder, gotta try harder. And if you know anything about the Enneagram, and I don't expect you to, but if you do, I'm a 2. So I try hard all the time. And so harder just means if I have to try harder, I'm failing. What I'm doing now is not enough. And I work really, really hard, but then when I am ignored, when I'm overlooked, and that work is not acknowledged, or my needs are not acknowledged, that cuts deep, deep, deep within me. And that's when what in our home has traditionally been called Hulk Mom comes to the floor, and we scrape green off the ceiling because Hulk Mom has just had enough and feels like a complete failure because she needs to try harder, because obviously if nobody's noticing the work I'm doing, then the work isn't enough. And that's how a 2 operates. That doesn't mean 2s get away with it. Just because I understand how I'm created does not mean that I just get to be rude and Hulk Mom every single time somebody doesn't notice what I'm doing. That shouldn't be the why behind what I'm doing. But it often leads to a hurting heart. And that can lead to depression. Twos are what in the mental health world is commonly referred to. I don't know if it's actually a diagnosis, but it's commonly referred to high processing depressive. Like, I can keep going and going and going, and the more I'm doing, the more depressed I am. And my mom knows. She hears it. She goes, "You're too busy. Marilyn, you're too busy. Marilyn, you're too busy." And she knows. And what she's saying is, your depression is biting at your heels. And I notice it and I see it. And that's how my depression works. And then I realize 3 days later, I haven't taken my meds because I've just been go, 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 go. And then no meds means... And the Tasmanian devil leaves destruction in his path. And so the word is not harder. The word is softer this year. Try softer. There's a beautiful book by Andy Kohler that is actually called Try Softer. But for me, I want to react in softer ways. And the thing about having a word means that when I, on New Year's Day, really mess up and I react really poorly to my husband and my son because I am absolutely at my wit's end with them, and I'm being ignored. And what I needed this Christmas, with this holiday, overlooked 100%. And that's another story for another day. But what I needed did not occur. And so New Year's Day, I asked for something, and they saw my mouth going, and they stared at me. So my mouth stopped. They did. And my mouth went again. 4 times. And at no point was I asked, "I'm sorry, I'm just waking up. Can you just tell me exactly what you need again? I know you need help. I'm sorry, I'm missing this. What do you need me to do?" Right? At no point was that expressed. So all I got was, so yes, I responded in a harsh way because I was so exhausted. But did I fail? If that was a resolution, yes, because I would start at the finish line and I just blew it. No, what I heard was soften, soften, be softer, be softer. And I was like, okay. And I finished up what I was doing. And yes, it was noticeable that there was irritation. And then I went, no, you're going to go over in the corner. You're going to calm down. And you're going to come back and engage in the group. You're not going to run away. You're not going to harass them for what they did. You might explain it later when you're calmed down. But right now, you're going to be softer. And I heard softer, softer, softer. And whether that is the divine's voice within me or my own voice or a mix of the two, there was no failure there. In fact, it was a huge success. Because then I could look quickly at how did I offend people in my reaction. I can explain to them why that reaction came from their behaviors. And I could also say, however, I should not have responded that way, and there's no excuse for it. I am very sorry. What I need from you next time is... And I was able to express it and explain it. Whereas any other year, it would have been like, I failed, first day, failed, bleh. So for me, that's how the new year has started. It's actually a really good start. A really good beginning. Next week, I'm going to implement some more in as far as health goals and things like that. But little bits, and build on and keep building on and keep building on. And that's how we're going to succeed. But it all starts with understanding that kindness goes a long way. So if you need kindness today, give it to yourself. If someone else needs kindness around you, don't hoard your kindness. Give it away freely and it will come back to return to you. And above all, have some sweet dreams. Know that I love you. Bye. See you sometime next week.